Manhwas are a hidden gem in the world of comics with stunning art and unique storyline. Manhwas have gained a lot of popularity in recent years, and for good reason, but with so many amazing manuas to choose from, it can be overwhelming to know what to read. So today, I will be recommending you all top 30 manhwa and manga you should read right now. So let's start a list. Number 30. The Dark Mage's Return to Enlistment. Our main character, an ordinary high school senior in Korea, was suddenly summoned to another world, where he became a dark mage. Determined to return home, he overcame all sorts of hardships and saved the other world with black magic before leaving all his wealth and glory as a hero behind to return to Earth. However, before he could fully enjoy his life, a problem arose. A dungeon break had occurred and monsters came pouring out, threatening his comfortable days. Therefore, Minjin, who had just returned to Earth, had no choice but to fight. Number 29. My Adventurer Life. I became the strongest magic refining sage in a new world when Minato died in an unfortunate accident. He was reincarnated in a different world where magic was woefully underdeveloped. Superfluous magic circles, barely working attack magics. What's with these inefficient magic? By getting rid of the excesses in the magic circle, the destructive capabilities of the magic can be multiplied. Furthermore, he creates the flawless extreme magic by his own hands. With his boundless wisdom, Minato enhances magic beyond wonder. In no time, his magical powers and techniques outclassed that anyone else's. In a world where magic was lost to the people, Minato is praised as an omnipotent wise man who controls all of the elements. The tale of a wise man commanding the lost magic with overwhelming power starts now. Number 28. Dice. This manhwa revolves around Dongtae, who gets bullied constantly for being very weak. As the story proceeds, he meets a transfer student named Tae-bin who has very mysterious and strong dice cubes. Through Tae-bin, Dongtae uses these cubes, and the rolls of this dice can be exchanged for strength, beauty, and whatnot. While this might sound very majestic to most of you, the consequences can be quite fatal. So, before getting into anything like that, one must be careful. To find out how Dongtae's life turned upside down, red dice. Number 27. Leveling with Thumbs Up. Leveling with Thumbs Up tells us the story of Jikiak, who is a mere hunter assistant. His job is to clean up after the hunter and just lift up the corpses of monsters. He was pretty satisfied with his ordinary life until one day, he saw his grandpa in his dream. His grandpa told him that he'd be able to level up if he gets a thumbs up from the people around him. As much as it sounds weird, it was real. Now, he must get thumbs up from different people in order to level up and to make lots of money. So, this story is basically about Jikiak struggling to become the strongest hunter ever. This manhwa has a very interesting premise, as you can tell, so we totally recommend you to read it. Number 26. The Stars Are on My Side. This manhwa opens in a world where civilization is non-existent because of a certain catastrophe. There are mysterious towers that are humanity's only hope. The ones who are able to reach the top level are known as Astras. Armik in this manhwa is Beekhoman, who has a very low level. However, one day, he gets the power to recall his past selves. All of his past selves had been Astras. Now, he sets out on a journey to become an Astra in this life as well. This manhwa mixes the elements of fantasy with the concept of leveling up, so check that out if you're interested in such a concept. Number 25. My 990,000 Past Lives Helped Me. Kang Hyeon-jun is an F-rank hunter who struggles to afford himself as he's making a very little amount of money. He hits the lowest point of his life when his girlfriend also dumps him. One night, he returns home drunk but finds himself in another realm. Instead of his home. He meets his past self there, who tells him that he'd be able to make him stronger, but Kang Hyeon-jun will have to endure a lot of pain. Number 24. Unordinary. The whole storyline of this webcomic occurs in such a school setting. This webtoon depicts a world where a person is born with exceptional powers, which have a rank. Some people are being born with really no aptitude at all, while others may be born with exceptional abilities. People's social standing is determined by their ability, and those who lack abilities are constantly looked down upon and despised. In addition, the main character, John Doe, used to be tormented at school since he was seen as weak. He began beating up all of the individuals who'd bullied him as soon as he regained consciousness. In addition, the main character, John Doe, used to be tormented at school since he was seen as weak. He began beating up all of the individuals who'd bullied him as soon as he regained consciousness. Number 23 Uparts. The MC was a student who was considered to be among the most talented within the school. He was walking about when he was involved in an accident, which resulted in severe injuries to both of his legs. The finest fighter at the school was rendered unable to fight. In the meanwhile, he is tormented on a regular basis at school till one day he discovers an Upart. He can restore his bodily condition to its pre-Upart state by using Uparts. Additionally, a new universe opens up for him as a result of this. Ultimately, this is a fantastic school fighting manhwa that you should check out. There is a lot of fighting in this movie. You'll also notice some fantastical elements in this film. It is an absolute must-read for manhwa fans. Number 22 Supernova. Supernova is considered to be among the greatest school fighting manhwa currently available. The MC of this next manhwa was indeed a typical high school student who did not stand out. He preferred to stay away from the majority of those school bullies. Then, one day, due to the actions from one of his pals, he becomes embroiled in a web of deception, and the life he has will be forever altered. He is the victim of bullying, and a few of his classmates take his own life. Because there's no longer anybody to bully, the bully turned his attention to him as his new victim. Ultimately, this is a fantastic manhwa to read. You may find reading this manhwa about school fights to be really enjoyable. You'll be left stunned throughout the whole story. Most importantly, it contains a large number of chapters to experiment with. Number 21 Boss in the School. The MC of this manhwa is a natural-born warrior who excels in combat situations. His pledge to his mother, on the other hand, leads him to resolve to refrain from fighting, also in self-defense. Nothing remains the same once his father passes away, leaving him with a solitary last message: stop having your ass kicked. Well, he is perhaps the baddest dude on the face of the planet. But all I can say for now is that this manhwa is really one of the best manhwa you'll ever read. Number 20 Guilty Acts. This manhwa is relatively new. It has just 11 odd chapters. Still, it looks quite promising. It follows the story of a teenager named Dandy. Dandy loves justice. He cannot see evil. However, as he was saving his friend, he died. Well, what can he do now? But this is the world of manhwa. Something has to happen, right? A monster named Sin appeared. He gave Dandy two options. He had the option to go to heaven, and the second option was to live and exterminate sins from the world. What do you think he will do? Number 19 Reawakened Man. Reawakened Man follows the story of a guy named Juan Siak. Juan is an ordinary person who has a strong sense of justice. Bear one thing in mind: having a good sense of justice isn't always good. Juan was killed as was trying to save his neighbor. However, he was reincarnated 3 days after his death. He even gained some skills at that. He should be able to take his sweet revenge by then. That is until he realizes that there is something bigger going and he has to stop it. Number 18 Mashal. Magic and Muscles. This manhwa follows the story of a guy named Mash. Mash lives in a world where magic is everything. He lives with his father in the forest, away from everything. However, the main thing here is that he cannot use magic. As he lives in the forest, he is physically. One day, the magic users found out about him and his secret. He was forced to join a magic academy. It was said that he could only be accepted as a member of society if he becomes a divine visionary. What will he do? Poor guy. He just wants to live peacefully with his father. Number 17 Higanjima. Brother, Asushi, disappears and his whole family starts breaking apart. One day, Akira comes across an unconscious girl named Rei Aoyama in front of his house. When she wakes up, she reveals to Akira that Asushi is actually alive. She further tells Akira that Asushi is stuck on an island named Higanjima. That island is actually inhabited by vampires. Akira decides to go to the island along with his friends in order to save Asushi. As soon as Akira and his friends arrive at the island and are captured by the vampires, before they could drink their blood, Akira and the gang escape the vampires. When Akira comes across Asushi, he explains to Akira that they must defeat the vampire named Miyabi if they want to leave this island. So, Asushi, Akira and his friends train for their final battle against Miyabi. Number 16. My entire class was summoned to another world except for me. Kamiya Yato, a lazy boy with no ambitions, was sleeping in the corner of the class during one of the lectures. Out of nowhere, a god who came from another world appeared and teleported the entire class to his universe. Well, he missed taking Yato since he didn't see him there. Do you think he was disappointed he didn't get to go on an adventure? Absolutely not. It's too much of a drag, as Shikamaru would say. However, there are powers he accidentally gave him, the never-ending police interviews that followed the incidents, and the journalist always on his tail were 100 times worse. As if this god was punishing him or something. When he finally managed to get some time for himself, all sorts of catastrophes started happening in his town. And guess who had to clean up the mess every time? Yep, you guessed it, it was Yato. Number 14. The former Top 1's sub-character training diary, a dedicated player. Our MC is a good-for-nothing, well, not totally worthless. There is just one thing he is the best at, and that's gaming. Day and night, all he did was play video games. His avatar is famous throughout the earth. He is the best. He is unbeatable. But without that op character that he groomed for years, he is nothing anymore. But he got hacked, all his progress was lost, and he had to begin from scratch. Years of hard work thrown like thrash. Falling into despair, he had to pick himself up quickly since he suddenly found himself in that very game. And now succeeding in his mission means surviving. Number 13. The perfect surgeon. Jang Hee-jin grew up as an orphan and he had never opened his heart to anyone. However, he grew up to be a cardiothoracic surgeon. One strange day, he got into an accident, and when he opened his eyes, he was Choi Ji-seok, a man who has to level up using his skills. Such an accident greatly changed his fate and resulted in him leveling up as a great surgeon. It is one of the best medical manhwas with a leveling system. Will he be able to level up? To find out, read Level Up Doctor. Number 15. Class D2 Ben ni kawaii ana no ko to tomodachi ni nata. Mai Haramaki, someone who couldn't make any acquaintances or friends in high school, finally had someone I can hang out with outside of school. A girl, her name was Asanagi-san. The boys in my class called her the class' second cutest girl behind her back. On Fridays, she would refuse her best friend, Amami, the cutest girl in class, invitation just to hang out in my house with me. Together, we played games, watched some movies, read some manga while eating junk foods like pizza and hamburgers, and chugging cola without a care in the world. To others, we may seem sloppy, but it was a precious, secret time together for Asanagi-san and myself. Number 11. Shirenai Hodo a cute Azatoi Kurai Niakai. Is this senior, female, male, neutral, demonic? A transfer student suffering from an incurable disease called curiosity meets a mysterious being human who is beautiful, cute, cool, and terrifying. The first of a new generation of horror comic authors presents an abyssal love story, a ghost story to peek into and sensuality to you.